Thank you for coming here on this stolen land of the Likwangan peoples as we bring our hearts and minds and spirits to bear on another stolen land, occupied Palestine. It is the age of horror. It is the age of hope. Horror and hope. These are the two words that capture our struggle here. I heard them spoken by a British demonstrator, an elderly black woman in London, and here I am relaying them to you after they were uttered a continent and an ocean away. Palestine has become the world's focal point for the struggle between justice and injustice, oppressed and oppressor, colonial cruelty and indigenous resilience. I am hopeful that what we are witnessing are the final deathly thrashes of a monstrous Western imperialism, a monstrous era that was heralded with genocide and was punctuated by genocide. So it should come as no surprise that this era ends in genocide. The horror that I feel is because this particular genocide seemingly has no end. The Zionist death cult is now dissecting the Gaza Strip into north and south by cutting right through the middle with a fortified road that they intend to use for long-term military operations. It's a literal divide and conquer ethnic cleansing campaign. There are anywhere between 300 and 700,000 Palestinians who have refused to leave their neighborhoods in northern Gaza, and they are facing the death rattles of starvation. The Zionist regime is using the starvation of innocent civilians as a weapon of war to break the back of the resistance. They do not realize that they are sowing the seeds of a new generation of Palestinian resistance that will be even more ferocious in its quest for the liberation of Palestine. The death toll in Gaza has crossed 29,000. 1 out of every 100 children in Gaza have been killed by the Zionist death cult. In the West Bank, the death toll among children has crossed 100 since October of last year. In February alone, Israeli forces shot dead 5 boys aged between 14 and 17 and confiscated the bodies of 2 of the victims, indefinitely withholding them from their families. One of the boys shot dead was Palestinian-American Muhammad Khadour. He was not given the courtesy of condemnation by the American government, which announced that it was seeking further information from the Israeli government on the incident. The fact is, Israel would have run out of ammunition in the first month of its genocide were it not for American planes carrying its loads of 1-ton and 2-ton bombs. Palestinian Canadians who are attempting to bring in their families from Gaza are getting zero financial assistance from the Canadian government, which is also limiting temporary residence visas for Gazans to 1,000 applications per year. In the US, Canada, the UK, Germany, and other Western countries, the racial hierarchy is clear for those with eyes and ears and hearts. And yet, the international solidarity that we are witnessing on the streets, in the West and all around the world, has been a beacon of hope. Why would South Africa bother to file its claim in the ICJ for plausible genocide? Why would South American presidents rattle the status quo and announce that what's happening in Gaza is indeed a genocide? Why would the Chinese ambassador to the UN affirm that Palestinians have a lawful right to armed resistance against any and all foreign occupiers? It's because these countries know injustice when they see it. They've been there before, and their moral compass is attuned to the plight of the Palestinians. As Angela Davis has said, Palestine is a moral litmus test for the world. There are those who have failed this test and those who have passed. As a Palestinian, I wish to thank all of you here for passing the test and more. To come here week after week, choosing not to abandon those who are suffering in Gaza, choosing to bear witness to the horror, as emotionally devastating as it is, choosing to hope that justice will ultimately prevail, and choosing to act on that hope is all I can ask for. As a tribute to all the freedom-loving people around the world who are standing up for Palestine, we will be singing the Internationale in English and Arabic. But before we do that, let's understand why this song in particular, the Internationale, rings true with the Palestinian struggle. Listen to the words of Palestinian Islamic thinker Sami al-Arian. Explain how this global solidarity with Palestine is crucial to its liberation. And I quote, "One must emphasize the importance of creating a global solidarity movement that seeks to end the Israeli apartheid regime by employing many tactics, including those of the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement. The objective of such tactics is to isolate the Israeli apartheid state and force its racist colonialist system to eventually disintegrate and collapse. This vision will lead to the increasingly vital role of people outside Palestine in the struggle against the Zionist project, a universal struggle across the world, carried out by every person who cares about justice, freedom, equality, and truth. This, of course, does not mean the dwarfing of the role of the Palestinian struggle inside Palestine. Palestinian resistance must be complemented and shared in action, commitment, and engagement by international solidarity movements, working side by side in all places and at all levels and in all fields to invigorate the struggle, not for the sake of demarcation of borders or the creation of a truncated Palestinian state, but rather for the sake of dismantling a racist colonial ideology and its global manifestations. So for that, I find no better song than the Internationale to express this international solidarity with Palestine. And here we go. So. Yes. This way, or should I come around? Oh. That's right. We'll make it. Yeah, that's full service. So we'll see how well we can work with the multiple microphones set up here. I guess before we get started, thank you, Anas, for speaking to the International in such a beautiful way. This song has been around and has been the song of the struggle for justice for, since when was it written? 1871, when this was written. And it has been sung in every tongue, in every land on this planet. And it's nice to bring it back here. Arise, ye prisoners of starvation, arise, ye wretched of the earth, for justice thunders condemnation, a better world's in birth. No more traditions chains shall bind us, arise, ye slaves, no more in thrall. The earth shall rise on new foundations, we have been not, we shall be all. 'Tis the final battle, let each stand in their place. The Internationale unites the human race. 'Tis the final battle, let each stand in their place. The Internationale unites the human race.
هم ضحايا الاضطهاد، ضحايا جوع الاضطراب، بركان الفكر في اتقاد، هذا آخر انفجار. هيا نمحق الظلام نحطم القيود. شيدوا الكون جديدا حرا، كونوا أنتم الوجود. بجموع قوية هبوا لاح الظفر، غادوا الأممية يوحد البشر. بجموع قوية هبوا لاح الظفر، غادوا الأممية يوحد البشر.